My name is Aleksandr Kakabadze, also known as Sasha Kakabadze, but mostly known as Mitya's brother. And you know what? I'm finally okay to be known as Mitya's brother. I've been called many things in my life, and surprisingly, that's not the worst of them. It's actually kind of nice to be known as Mitya's brother because everybody likes Mitya. You obviously like him. You paid your money to see him tonight, which is kind of stupid because he will do the same stuff next week for free. just saying. So, uh, yeah. And as I said, everybody likes Mitya, and everybody always didn't like me. And I can say that I live in my brother's shadow. And I actually can't say that because I read only one book in my life, so I'm too stupid to use or understand metaphors. And when I say that I read one book, people immediately think that I'm talking about the Bible. And I'm not. Like, that's how stupid I am. If you read one book, that should be a Bible. You stay stupid, but at least you'll have a cool necklace, you know, with the cross. I saw a lot of you wearing it tonight. Clockwork Orange. That's the book that I read. I was 15, and I know it's a strange choice to be a first book. And to explain why I chose this book, I have to give you a little backstory. Now, I know that it's hard to believe, but I wasn't always that beautiful. And I think it's a part of the problem why people don't like me, because people like you, they look at me and they think, oh, he's so unbelievably beautiful. He must be arrogant prick who thinks he's better than us, ordinary people. And it's not true. I don't think that I'm better than you, ordinary people. No. So, yeah, as I said, I wasn't always the perfection that I am today. I was actually fat and short, and I had acne on my face till I was 17. And obviously girls didn't like me, and I wasn't even trying to hit on girls because I knew that they would say no to me. But then there was this one girl that I loved since I was 14, and I still love her, to be honest. And she was in my school, and she was always reading. Every week she came to school with a new book, and I thought maybe if I would buy the book that she reads now, and I will read it, we'll have something in common and that would impress her. So I did that, I bought the book, I read it, I came to school, we talked about it, but we just talked about the book, didn't go past that, you know. Turned out she didn't like the guys who loved and cared about her and wanted to impress and do anything just to be with her. Turned out she loved taller, older guys who treated her like shit. And it's ironic because 6 years later, now I'm that older, taller asshole. And we're dating. And we're actually a very happy couple because, trust me, I treat her like a slut that she is. So as I said, people didn't like me even before the stand-up, but after I started performing, it got even worse because now people assume not only that I'm an asshole, now people think that I'm racist. Can you believe that just because of my jokes and posts on my Facebook and stickers on my car, people think that I'm racist? It's a true story. We had an open mic in Creator Bar like 6 months ago, and two guys stood up, walked out of the bar screaming, "Fuck you, you fucking Georgian racist cunt." And I was standing on stage thinking, why would you say that? I'm Russian. And you know, I'm tired of all that bad rap that I get and all the negativity that comes towards me, so I thought maybe if I would explain to you the way I was raised, maybe then you would understand why I am the way I am. So, I'm the youngest of four brothers. You know my brother Mitya, and we also have two more brothers, but they actually happy, normal people, so there's nothing interesting about them. And I'm the youngest of four, and I was an unwanted child. My mom told me that when I was 8, and I didn't ask her, she just told me that we didn't want you. And she explained it that, you know, they were already old 20 years ago, and they're really old now. So it was a little bit late to have another child, and they already had 3 sons, and they wasn't rich, so it's hard to feed 4 kids, you know. But when they found out that my mother was pregnant, and they didn't know the gender, my mom was very religious. So she went to church almost every day praying that they would have a daughter, because they already had 3 sons, and she wasn't a girl, you know. And obviously, I'm not a girl. And so when I was born, my mom was so disappointed that she never went to church again. I know her for 22 years now. She never lighted a candle. She even liked a religious picture on Facebook. And she's really old. So just so you understand, when Jesus was born, he started the religion. When I was born, I ended it. Yeah, so I was born in February 1997. So me and Ellen DeGeneres came out at the same time. And when I was born, I was named after my brother Mitya, because he was born 4 years before me, so they named him first, and then after they named me. What? I don't remember. Our parents. What can I tell you about my father? I don't really have a lot of memories about my father. Well, he was a very, very, very well-read man. You know, he read a lot of books, which is a nice way of saying that he went to prison. And when he came out, he wasn't a big part of my life anyway. You know, he worked as a photographer, so he was never really in the picture anyway. And the only memory I have about my father from my childhood is the Christmas of 2005. I remember the gift that he gave to my brother. It was a video game, Need for Speed, Most Wanted. Damn, you're slow. You're slow. All right. I don't really want to talk more about my father, you know. I hate him, to be honest. I hate him because he's one of those people, you know, my parents. And because of this asshole, my mom, she had to work like crazy, you know. She worked everywhere just to give us the better life. She worked as a nurse, she worked as a teacher, she worked as a librarian, she worked as a cook. She was actually one of the first and few female taxi drivers in Moscow in early 2000s. And after she was working, she came home, she did our food to us, she checked our homework. And so, you know, I didn't have like powerful men in my life. I didn't have a father figure in my life. And that's why I had to learn everything by myself. I had to learn how to tie my shoes by myself. That's why I'm bragging about it tonight. I had to learn how to ride a bike by myself. I had to learn how to disrespect women all by myself. And it's easy for you to judge and even laugh at this, because it was easier for you, man. You had your father. He told you that you're better than women. I didn't know that. Like, can you believe the kid? I was growing up in this nightmare of equality and equal rights for everyone. No one told me that we were better. And my brother wasn't any help, because look at him, he's even gayer than I am. And that says a lot. And no one told me that gays were bad, because we didn't have religion in our house. And I don't know my father's opinion about gays before the prison, but he obviously changed his opinion about gays after he went to prison. So that's why I became an asshole that I am today, because I just wanted to be a part of your community, you know? I wanted to be like you guys. And now I have to say something, and I mean it. I have to. I must say that, because it's a rule of stand-up that every comedian should say this at least once in every 15 minutes he spends on stage. So here it comes. Enough about me. Tonight is not about me. Tonight is about my big brother Mitya. Give him a round of applause. I'm looking for the page. Stop. I found it. All right. Tonight is about Mitya, and now it's his big show. I have to say something nice about him, and it's hard for me because I have some rules of my own. And one of those rules is any man, like any strong adult, straight, independent, closeted gay man as myself, can say nice things about another man only 3 times in his life. On the wedding, and only in the first wedding, and only if I will be the best man at the wedding, at the birth of the first child, and only if it's a boy, and at the funerals. But today, I'm not gonna lie, I'm actually so happy tonight that I'm gonna make an exception. So, as I said to you tonight, and as I said to my pillow every other night, everybody always liked my brother. And he deserved it. He actually deserves it, because he's good. His definition of the word good. He's a good person, he's good at everything he does. And I don't know, I know him my whole life, right? And I got used to it, you know? It kind of spoiled me. And because of that, every time everyone was impressed or proud or even jealous of him, I didn't care. I was like, oh, Mitya is good at something. Big surprise. When he finished high school at the age of 15 with a gold medal, I wasn't impressed. When he was youngest to enter and finish medical school in Tbilisi, I wasn't impressed. When he got the girl that he got, with the look that he has, look at him. I wasn't impressed. But I will forever remember the moment that he did his stand-up for the first time. It was 2 years ago, right? 2 years ago at some shitty bar in Vake. Not this shitty bar, another one. was like 10 people, and only 4 of them spoke English, and none of them knew that there would be stand-up show tonight. And he came on stage and he started doing his jokes, and it was like really bad, really bad. I'm sorry. You will see. You will see something. And after 1 minute, it was clear that nobody wanted him to continue, including me, of course. But he didn't stop. He did his 5 or 7 minutes of material, and the whole time I was looking at him with a smile on my face. And it wasn't my usual look at my loser brother smile, no. And obviously I wasn't smiling because he was funny. No, I was smiling with pride, you know, I was proud of him. I was impressed by him. I was inspired by him. And I was actually jealous for the first time in my life. Because what he did was brave, you know, it took balls, and I could never do that. And the next week he did it again, and then the next week, and another week, and he continued doing it. And as a result, more and more people started showing up on our shows, more and more people started performing. He made his first friends at the age of 24 because of stand-up. So now I'm proud to say that my brother started stand-up in Tbilisi. Also Nate, but he's not here, so fuck him. Fuck Nate, thank you. I hate this guy. Like, he's good looking, he has a good job, and he's happily married. He has no right to be a comedian. Yeah. So, now I really forgot what I was saying. And comedy is a big part of my life, especially stand-up comedy. You know, I learned English because of stand-up. It helped me bond with my brother, and it helped me get through a lot of hard moments in my life. Stand-up helped me. I'm not talking about these guys, I'm talking about good stand-up, you know, like George Carlin or Louis C.K. But you're something, right? I mean, you know, Laugh Factory, one of the most famous stand-up clubs in the world, their first comedian wasn't Dave Chappelle immediately. I'm sure they have the fair portions of Onisis and Minikos. But here's something, right? You have to start somewhere. I just really said that I missed our roast battle, all right? You would have won, I know. So, but you know, you're like pioneers of stand-up in Tbilisi, guys. You walk so that the next comedians could run. Which is a shame. I wish Nineveh could run at least one in her life. I really miss our stand-up, our roast battle, right? And, what else? So, what else? I don't remember. Oh, so, yeah, and comedy is a big part of my life, and comedy is a very powerful thing, you know? If you don't know how powerful stand-up is, just look at me and my brother. Only with the power of stand-up, the guy who looks like me will be known as someone's brother. Right. People laughed at me, so I don't know. I liked your joke when you were talking about your boyfriend, you know, the guys who worship cows. All right, back at being nice, right. Now it's time, today I opened for my brother. It's his big show, and it feels like I'm returning a favor, because 26 years ago he opened our mother's vagina for me. And now it's time for me to introduce him on stage. And you know, when he will come on stage, I want you to have a good time, you know? I want you to laugh, I want you to clap, I want you to smile, I want you, but later. And you know, all right. A guy without whom this night wouldn't be possible, and I mean literally, he decided it will be his show by himself. He didn't ask any of us. He just said, this will be my show. He made the poster, all the posts on Facebook, his job. If you think 15 lari is too much, all right, give a big round of applause for my big brother, Mitya Kakabadze.